Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant news, and the roster stuff simply does not stop here in the Valorant community. Lots to dive into today, roster changes for sure, but also Sinatra's reaction to Sentinels falling after the World Championship and what TenZ should think about going forwards into future events if Sentinels do stay together. Very much enjoying your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting the like button is the best thing you can do to help this channel reach new people, and please consider subscribing as well if you have not yet already. Firstly, this from Pith, pro Valorant player now for Bleed.GG. Interesting organization name. I believe they're a Singaporean organization, and well, Pith is going to be joining their side, leaving Sweden in January. Will be moving to Singapore to compete in the VCT Southeast Asia in 2022. So quite a remarkable situation. Definitely cool to see all these organizations from different regions getting involved. They finalized their roster in this tweet right here. So Maxi joining their team. So they've got some Singaporean players. They've also got some Swedish players putting together the entirety of their roster. So pretty cool stuff, to be honest. But I mean, yeah, this is where Pith is ending up. So much roster stuff going on right now. It's tough to keep up with everything. I'm sure there's going to be some seriously big roster moves going on as well, given the fact that everything hasn't yet been confirmed as to which players are going back to Counter-Strike, which players are still coming into Valorant, and all the questions around well, whether the top North American teams are actually going to make some changes as well, depending on what happens there. Like, you know, one change, one single move can well, cause a flood of other moves really throughout the entirety of the community as well. This is what Anbox are up to. It seems they might be screwing with a couple of new guys. They've got Hyena, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that, from Ghost, scrimming alongside Mame and Vice. So definitely they've been looking to make some moves. Like, some strange things have gone on with them the last couple of weeks in terms of like Harmful being on the team and then removed for some reason that was kind of unclear. Odorous as well, that was on version 1. We saw him get released a couple of days ago, so it seems like he's now with Anbox. So they're trying to make some moves. That's the thing, like, it seems like a load of these teams do trials. They try players out for a few days, see if it works. So we often get to see which players are trialing with them. Whether we actually get to then, well, see and confirm which players might be joining the team, that of course is another question entirely. Now, a couple of days ago we talked about Fnatic, right? And after Champions, what are they going to do going into 2022? Because they looked pretty good at Champions. They just about fell short in the end, and it just, okay, maybe they wouldn't have won the entire thing anyway, but it just seems like they were a pretty solid squad, better performing really than a lot of those North American teams that are probably staying together here for the upcoming season at least, based on current rumors. But well, Fnatic are going to still continue to make some changes. Doma, a couple of days ago here on the right-hand side, he was removed from their team. Now, they went on to say that they're looking to make a variety of changes. Now, it wasn't clear really with Fnatic whether they were looking to make a variety of other roster changes, as in kick a load of other players, bring some new guys in, because their squad on paper was pretty good. It was been a surprise if they'd have, like, you know, completely gutted the entire team, or whether that means remove Doma and then make some serious like role composition changes within the roster. Now, that seems to be what they're planning here according to Halo. So, well, players trialing for Fnatic, one of which being Hyber. Now, this isn't a player I've really heard of too much before, but this is what the article goes on to say. Sources have told Decerto that one of the players Fnatic have their eyes on is Hyber, who recently played for Team Finest. Fnatic believe that the addition of a player who is adept at playing on Sova will provide the team with more tactical flexibility and allow them to move at least one of either Boaster or Mystic, potentially both, into a new role. The same sources have told Decerto no further roster changes are planned at the same moment. So I guess we shall see on this front, but interesting stuff, no doubt, that yeah, Boaster and Mystic potentially changing roles, going somewhere elsewhere within the team composition, and well, of course, Doma's out of there. They're going to bring in maybe Hyber as their new Sova, so definitely some interesting changes they might be making. Hyber isn't really a player I have too much experience at hearing about, to be honest, as well, you can see right here, playing with Team Finest most recently, a Finnish player, not clearly, well, as you can see, is a VALORANT.GG page right here, not all that much on it, quite honestly, so definitely as someone I guess they've scouted quite recently, thought has some prospects, but I mean, yeah, these teams are certainly not shying away right now of international lineups, and well, Hyber joining this team may be another example of that. Whether they go through with it though, of course, well, that is another question entirely. So let's discuss the Sentinels roster at the Champions, because of course they fell short in the end. As TenZ says, flying to LA today, goodbye Europe, was able to do some fun things in Berlin and Rome, so cool to see TenZ back out to the USA, but I mean, just in time for the holidays, I suppose, over the Christmas period, but still, they failed to make playoffs at Champions. There was a massive shock to a load of people, losing out to Crew Esports in the end, and well, this was of course the reaction to that loss against Crew 1-2. GG's, unbelievably disappointed in myself. Going out this early in the tournament leaves a massive hole. Played really well, they played really well. I could not show up when it mattered most this year, taking a break for a while because, you know, big sell, all that type of stuff. Now, you know, Sinatraa, after they went out of this tournament, he had a few words. He was certainly surprised at the situation, right? The fact that, like, the North American teams were getting completely bodied, and, well, this series especially, of course, wasn't even European teams taking out Sentinels. It was Crew Esports, but, well, a clip came out of Sinatraa kind of talking about TenZ and the fact that he shouldn't really be too hard on himself.
Tens felt like he was scared to underperform on a raise, yet his jet was all over the place. Bro, you can't blame the
match found.
It's such dumb logic to blame a loss on like someone not performing. It's not about that. It's about the team and how you play the team. Every game, someone's gonna have an off game. It doesn't matter. People are gonna whiff. Really. That's like saying you made a bad play because you whiffed. Like, you had the most insane play, you got behind them, and then you whiffed, and then everyone calls you, like, a play. Like, sheer terrible, like, what, it's just a whiff? It's a good play. Unlucky.
Because in the wake of Champions, there was a lot of talk about TenZ and his individual performance, right? Because if you go and look at here, like best performing players theoretically, at least in terms of, I've just ordered it by KD right here, which of course isn't the greatest statistic. There's many other better statistics you could probably look at, but KD kind of gives you a good ranking, like in theory, of how well these players did. So, I mean, you've got Turko, Chronicle, Sacy, Heat. Those are the top 5 theoretically. And, well, Leaf is certainly up here as well. These are, Scream, of course, 1.21. Generally, these are the players, like in these top 10, these are probably where you're going to find your top 5 players of the tournament. Turko certainly has to be up there, like a Scream has to be up there, like a Chronicle as well. Maybe you throw a Leaf in there, even given his performance in that one particular series, and some other players as well that deserve some mention. Nats might deserve it as well, given his performance towards the end of the tournament. Of course, they just about fell short, but I guess cNed has to be in there as well, given the fact that they won the entire thing. But you have to scroll down, as I'm sure you'll notice, quite a long way to find TenZ down here on Sentinels. Jet player, of course, with the statistics like this, a 1.06 over the course of it. Not exactly the greatest tournament by his standards, given what he's expected to do really in these big tourneys. And there was some big talk really about the fact that, okay, TenZ, when he's in pressure situations, when the pressure's on, when it's in a big series, when it's in a knockout match, he doesn't necessarily perform. The pressure seems to get to him to some degree. So yeah, Sinatraa certainly defending his performance, right? And the fact that, like, it's not on one guy, of course, it's a team thing, which definitely makes an awful lot of sense. But still, you need your star players to turn up, and TenZ didn't really in their big series, especially, for example, this one up against Crew Esports, the one that they lost and fell out of the tournament. Like, TenZ went 40-47, and I saw this thread on Reddit. They were kind of discussing in TenZ's entire career, whenever he's been in a situation where he has to win a map or go home, like, he's pretty much always lost the map, with the exception of like a small tournament in the Counter-Strike side, like ages ago when they were down 1-0, came back to win 2-1. But still, pretty much every single time TenZ and his teams are backs against the wall, if they lose this map, they're out of the tourney. Like, he doesn't perform and they always lose it. So that's kind of a consistent trend. Maybe Sentinels need to think about that, because I think their squad is fantastic on paper, but if it's TenZ dropping crazy numbers here, they probably win this series like you might expect from him. So I thought it was an interesting conversation really between the two of them. Of course, big discussion still to be had on where Sinatraa might end up for next year. I'll definitely try and do my best to keep you guys updated on that front. Just wanted to finish off with a couple of things actually just before we look at this clip, because there was some talk about the VCT format for this upcoming season, and just the fact that in a load of different regions, it's rather difficult to make sure everything is going to work okay. As Max says right here, the coach of Luminosity, have no clue why everyone isn't making a bigger deal about the VCT only having one open qualifier. Seems like an absolute joke to me. So it seems like there's just one open qualifier to get into kind of challenges, and then to go up further on from there. So of course last year, if this was in effect last year, then Sentinels never even makes Iceland after losing to BBG. Interesting stuff for sure. Like, I wonder if they'll think about this, because so far it seems like they are making some changes based on feedback, but I guess it's kind of a winner-takes-all situation right here in terms of an open qualifier. But yeah, it might not be so ideal for some of these teams that are trying to build rosters and might not even make the VCT next year at the end of the day. But some changes are being made, for example, in the South Asian region, as Alex goes on to say here, extremely excited that our teams in South Asia will now have an avenue to international VCT events via the APAC playoffs. Looking forward to seeing the top 2 teams from the VCC take on the rest of Southeast Asia's best. So pretty cool to see, to be honest, that this tournament's going on right here. This is road to VCT 2022. So loads of changes coming all the time. I'll do my best to keep you guys updated. And yeah, this absolutely cracking clip here from Zelsis with the CSGO copy pasta from back in the day. But very much intrigued your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button. Tells the YouTube gods this is a good video. Others like you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive Valorant community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.